Let me ask you, how much time do you spend digging for the right stock data? If you're like me, probably too much. But what if the perfect tool could cut that time in half? Today on the Modest Money channel, we're diving into two platforms that promise just that, Stock Rover and Seeking Alpha. If you've been searching for the perfect platform to boost your investment strategy, you've probably seen these names come up. But which one is actually the best fit for you? Stick with me, and by the end of this video, you'll have a clearer idea of which platform is worth your time and, more importantly, your money. So, let's get into a little history here, because I think it's important to know where these platforms come from. First up, we have Seeking Alpha, which has been around since 2004. It was started by David Jackson, who had this pretty cool vision of creating a platform where investors, everyday people like us, could share their own analysis and opinions on stocks. It wasn't just about getting information from the big financial institutions, it was about building a community where real investors could offer insights and help each other make better decisions. I love that concept because, personally, I like hearing different takes on a stock, especially when it's coming from people who are actually in the trenches with me, not just high-level analysts. And over the years, Seeking Alpha has become exactly that, a space where investors come together, post articles, debate strategies, and provide a variety of viewpoints. One thing I've always appreciated about Seeking Alpha is how it evolved from a pretty simple idea into this huge, trusted resource for serious investors. They didn't stop with just crowdsourced articles either. They grew into offering stock ratings, in-depth financial news, and even launched their premium service, Alpha Premium, which takes things to the next level with advanced tools and exclusive insights. It's impressive how this platform grew from just a few contributors to a massive network of voices, offering all sorts of perspectives on the market. For me, it's great because I don't just get one side of the story. I get to hear what multiple people think about the same stock, and that's incredibly valuable when I'm trying to decide where to put my money. Now, let's talk about Stock Rover, which has a totally different origin story, but one I think a lot of us can relate to. Stock Rover was founded in 2008 by two software engineers, Howard Reisman and Andrew Martin, who were investors themselves. And here's what's cool. They didn't come from a finance background. They came from tech. These guys were frustrated by how hard it was to find a good tool that could do detailed portfolio analysis, so they decided to build their own. I love stories like this because, as an investor, I appreciate when a platform is created by people who actually understand the problem they're solving. Howard and Andrew were in the same boat as us. They needed something better, so they built Stock Rover to fill that gap. In my opinion, you can really tell Stock Rover was built by people who care about the details. It's a data-driven platform through and through, designed for people who want to dig into the metrics and really analyze their portfolios. I admit, this is where I get geeked out a bit, because Stock Rover is for those of us who love playing with numbers, running different screens, and seeing how each stock fits into the bigger picture. It's not just about tracking your portfolio, it's about understanding every little piece of it. I mean, these guys built it for themselves first, which means they knew exactly what long-term investors would need. So, while Seeking Alpha is all about community-driven insights and stock ratings, Stock Rover is much more focused on data and analysis. Both platforms reflect their founders' visions. One's about harnessing the power of crowdsourced knowledge, and the other's about giving you the tools to crunch the numbers yourself. All right, now that we've got the background out of the way, let's dive into what these platforms actually offer in terms of features. Starting with Seeking Alpha, the first thing that comes to mind is the massive library of articles and stock ratings. For me, one of the standout features is the breadth of perspectives you get. There are over 18,000 contributors, ranging from professional analysts to regular investors who share their insights. One of the standout features of Seeking Alpha is the variety of ratings you get. You're not just relying on one source for stock recommendations. They give you stock ratings, quant ratings, and even author ratings. This is a huge advantage because it gives you a multi-layered view of each stock. Let's break that down a bit more. First, you have the stock ratings, which are generated based on a combination of professional analysts' insights and contributions from independent investors. So, whether it's a Wall Street pro or an experienced retail trader, you're getting multiple perspectives on a stock's potential. Then, there's the quant rating system, and this is where things get really interesting. The quant ratings are entirely algorithm-driven, which means they're based on cold, hard data. Think of it as a no-emotion take on a stock's performance. The algorithm evaluates factors like value, growth, profitability, momentum, and earnings revisions. It assigns a rating that ranges from strong buy to strong sell, which for me provides a clear, objective take on whether a stock is worth considering. If you're the kind of investor who likes to make decisions based on metrics and analysis, the quant rating is like having a mini analyst in your pocket, crunching numbers and delivering insights with zero bias. I think it is great for those short on time or that are active traders. Seeing these ratings at a glance really does save so much time. And then there's the author ratings. This is one of my favorite parts because it lets you see how credible an author's analysis has been in the past. You can check their rating track record to see if their predictions have been accurate over time. This is super helpful when you're sorting through dozens of opinions on a stock and trying to figure out which ones to trust. It's not just about what they're saying now, it's about whether their past calls have panned out. Personally, I think this adds a layer of transparency that's hard to find elsewhere. There really is so much information and misinformation on the internet these days, it is hard to know who to trust. Being able to see the past performance is a huge step into sorting out what advice I want to actually take into account. Another feature I love is the portfolio alerts. You can set up notifications for any stock in your portfolio and get real-time updates when there's news, earnings reports, or any major price moves. For someone like me, who doesn't have time to check my portfolio every 5 minutes, this feature is a lifesaver. It helps keep me informed without having to constantly monitor the market. I can rest assured that if my alerts aren't going off, my portfolio is probably safe. Not constantly having to check in and think about my portfolio has real freed up mental space to focus on other things in life. Now, switching over to Stock Rover, this platform is a beast when it comes to data analysis. The stock screener is probably the most powerful tool here, offering over 500 different metrics to filter stocks by. And if that's not enough, they've also got 140 pre-built screeners that cover everything from value investing to growth strategies, so you don't have to start from scratch. Personally, I love how customizable the screeners are. You can create your own based on your exact criteria and even backtest them with historical data. If you love going deep in your research, the possibilities with Stock Rover are practically endless. Stock Rover also excels in portfolio analysis. It gives you detailed insights into how your portfolio is performing, including future income projections, dividend tracking, and even a Monte Carlo simulation tool to see how your portfolio might perform under different market conditions. If you're like me and like to know exactly where your portfolio is headed, Stock Rover's got all the tools you need to manage every little detail. I mean, you can even link your brokerage account to automatically update your portfolio. I don't know about you, but that is convenience I can get behind. All right, let's talk about one of my favorite features in Stock Rover, the research reports. These are a goldmine of info, giving you a deep dive into over 7,000 North American stocks. What's great is that they cover everything: business summaries, valuations, profitability, risk analysis, you name it, it's in there. Personally, I love how comprehensive these reports are. Whether you're just starting to look into a stock or need detailed data to back up your decisions, these reports have your back. And here's a nice touch: you can either view them interactively on the platform or download them as PDFs. I find this super convenient, especially if you want to share with your financial advisor or just keep a detailed record for later. Now let's talk pricing. I'll start with Seeking Alpha. The good news is they have a free plan, which gives you access to a decent amount of content, including some articles and basic stock ratings. But if you're serious about investing, which if you are watching this video, I'm assuming you are, you'll want to upgrade to their Alpha Premium plan, which costs about $299 per year. This unlocks all the advanced features, like quant ratings, author ratings, and access to exclusive content. For what you're getting, it's a solid deal, especially if you're someone who values getting different perspectives on the market. And for a limited time, you can get $25 off Seeking Alpha by using my link in the description. On the Stock Rover side, there's a bit more flexibility with pricing. They offer 3 tiers: Essentials, Premium, and Premium Plus. The Essentials plan starts at just $7.99 per month, which is a steal if you're just getting started and want access to basic tools like their stock screener. The Premium plan is where it really starts to shine at $17.99 per month, giving you access to over 350 metrics and more in-depth portfolio analysis. Then there's Premium Plus, which is $27.99 per month. And it's perfect if you're a power user who needs all the bells and whistles. Things like 10 years of historical data, advanced charting, and full access to their Monte Carlo simulation are all included. Honestly, I think Stock Rover offers amazing value at every level, But if you're serious about getting the most out of it, I think the premium plan is where you'll get the best bang for your buck. Plus, I have another link in the description that can save you 25% off the subscription costs. All right, so how do we wrap this up? Well, I'll be honest. It really comes down to what kind of investor you are. If you're someone who values having access to a community of contributors, stock ratings from various analysts, and a solid mix of professional and independent opinions, Seeking Alpha might be the platform for you. I find it super useful when I want to see what others are saying about a stock and stay on top of the latest market news. If you haven't already noticed this from this video, Seeking Alpha has a much more modern layout and user experience than Stock Rover. Stock Rover has a bit of an outdated design and feel. It also has a big of learning curve compared to Seeking Alpha. Its design just isn't as intuitive as Seeking Alpha. But that being said, if you're like me and you love getting into the details, breaking down financial metrics, analyzing your portfolio, and using custom stock screeners, then Stock Rover is a fantastic option. It's built for those of us who are serious about portfolio management and data-driven investing. Whether you're a long-term investor or someone who likes to tweak your strategy constantly, Stock Rover gives you the depth and flexibility to do that. At the end of the day, both platforms are excellent in their own ways. It's just a matter of figuring out which one aligns with your investment style. And honestly, neither one is too expensive, so it doesn't have to be an either-or decision. I personally use both of them for different functions. Seeking Alpha for my news and quick research on the go, and Stock Rover for deep dives. So, if you're ready to make a decision, go ahead and check out the links in the description to get started. Whether it's with Seeking Alpha, Stock Rover, or both, you are on the right path. Thanks for watching. If you found this comparison helpful, don't forget to like, subscribe, and hit that bell so you don't miss any future updates. Happy investing!